Where did we come from? And why are we here? I studied a lot, different religions. I was born into Christianity, and I delved a lot into the Bible. Why are there other religions? Why not just Christianity?
So whereas with most of the things in the world, we always assume a balance, like light, dark, happiness, sadness. When you awaken, the balance collapses into one.
Exactly. But you have to seek the end of seeking.
By being in spirit, you have the potential
That's right.
to act, which will then move the mass of the world.
That's right.
We are selective with what we even read in scripture.
Yes. It says both heaven and earth will pass away.
Mm-hmm.
We hear it, and yet we want to go to heaven.
Before we continue with the episode, something interesting just happened in the studio right now. After shooting one of my usual solo episodes, somebody asked me questions, which made me realize that sometimes your questions actually allow me to give better feedback and better information. So let's do this. If you've ever felt like you've wanted to ask me questions or further clarification on anything I've said, you can drop it in the comments and I'll use those questions to do special episodes just to answer you. I may even shout out your name so that you understand that I am answering you. And also, do me a favor. I see so many people who are watching my episodes who have forgotten to hit the subscribe button. You know, we're trying to grow this community, build masterminds like you and I who can acquire wealth, who can build their mindset and become more wealthy financially, physically, spiritually, and especially when it comes to health. So please, do me the favor and subscribe. Welcome back to another awesome episode of Masterminds, where we are on a journey to sharpen your most powerful tool, your mind. Now, you know that the aim here is to help you become what you are destined to be, which is a mastermind. But one thing you need to know is you cannot master the mind until you master the spirit. And to have this conversation, I needed to bring one person who is so knowledgeable on everything to do with your identity and how to really be in touch with your spirit to master the mind and master the body. So seated with me today is the Honorable Dr. Baffour Jan. How are we doing today, please?
Great.
I'm so excited to have you here. I've been watching your videos and I must say, first of all, congratulations on firstly, everything that you've been able to learn. You know, I'm someone who likes to read and research a lot. And when I'm listening to you, I can see like just so much knowledge in you. That's the first part. Okay. The second part, which is so admirable, is the peace which you exude. You know, from the way you talk, the way you move, I can see that you are perfectly centered, if there's such a perfect thing as perfectly centered. So I'm so honored to have you here today.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me jump right into it. Okay. Before we go into spirituality and the mind and the consciousness, I want to understand a little about you, Dr. Baffour Jan. Like, what set you on this course to, you know, find out all this information?
Right. Yes. When we're talking about Dr. Baffour Jan, sometimes I'm looking at it just like somebody else.
Yeah.
Because what I know myself to be now is not what we talk about like some kind of history, some kind of story. Taking birth, place, time, circumstance, and beyond it.
Okay.
So definition of myself is different from the story.
Okay. I like that. So which one do you want to do first? Do you want to give me the definition of yourself or the story first?
Okay, a little about the story, then we go to the
self.
The self.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, in the first place, every person will pass through a kind of scenario that leads the person to realization of who he or she is.
Okay.
Every person. But it is within space and time. So it's similar to fruits. The plant bears fruits, and the fruits will mature first, then begins to ripen. So it's a process. And all fruits do not ripen at the same time.
True.
Some ripen today, next week or tomorrow, some will ripen. So everybody will have a different scenario. There are similarities, but everyone has a different time, place, circumstance. Yes. In my own story, it began in school time.
Okay.
The yearning was there within. But it's like, yearning for what? It's just like something is missing. But what is it? The question is, what is all this life? Where did we come from? And why are we here? And where are we going? In fact, everyone will come to those things. It means you have reached, the fruit has reached maturity and is seeking to ripen. So the questions are, am I just to be just this green thing or something else? I need to actually finally attain a certain fulfillment. And that fruit, when it is mature, then these questions come.
Okay.
Yes. Then the ripening process begins. So when I had these questions and yearning, at some point, then I had to really do some things about it. And what to do? Seek. So right in, especially in secondary school, already I was seeking, even in elementary school. So I wouldn't mix out too much. I had friends, but they were people who come to me. No, I don't go to them because I'm always in the room. I'm always with books.
Yeah.
And it wasn't only the academic subjects. I will always pick something outside the syllabus, something to understand about the life. So in secondary school, I got stuck to the library just because there are this encyclopedia, and it gave me the opportunity to take certain topics
And learn more.
And it will amaze you to know that even when I was facing exams, I will still be learning some other things. Somehow, I understood a lot with the academic side. So, I just wanted to go beyond it. And when I finished secondary school, and then when I got to the medical school, I was already in the Buddhist sect.
Okay.
Called Nichiren Daishonin.
Nichiren
Shoshu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Never heard that. I have to research on it.
Yeah. Nichiren Shoshu, they chant the Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, Nam-myoho Renge-kyo.
Okay.
And at that time, I was doing my studies and I was also delving into it. But before then, of course, I was born into Christianity. And I delved a lot into the Bible. But it's like, why are there other religions? Why not just
one religion?
Yeah, Christianity. What is there? in the other places. Why shouldn't all of them understand there is just the Bible?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to find out what they also had.
Okay.
So it's like comparative religion.
Yeah.
So I studied a lot, different religions throughout the world. And by and by, I realized something. The first thing I realized was that there were certain practical things which were the same through the religions.
Yeah.
They were repeated in all the religions. Let me give you an example, like fasting, for example.
True.
The Christians were doing it, Muslims doing it, Hindus doing it, Buddhists doing it. I say, yes. I want to find the same things in all religions. And in fact, I found a lot. And they were the same, different approach, but same things.
Okay, so like same principles.
Yes.
Just maybe different rules to it.
Yes. Then I said, well, I would like to stand in the middle and just be with these practical things, principles, and apply them. And all the other things were superfluous. They were just additional things.
Okay.
See, the main thing is always same throughout. So I wanted to also understand if these things by themselves were the end, or they were pointers to something else.
Okay, something deeper.
Something deeper. And that also, I delve into it by practicing all the things which were principles within all religions. And it took me to a point where my understanding came to be that, the realization came upon me at a point. I understood that all the practices are like laying a bed. Now, when you lay the bed, the final thing is for you to sleep. Sleep means shifting. So all these practices, if the shifting doesn't take place, you haven't, it is just like you lay the bed, you do all kind of things, but if you misunderstand that the purpose of laying the bed is to sleep, and you go on laying the bed and doing all kind of things, then it's not the best. So I wanted a core thing that all these practices are pointing to. And that is where the realization came, that it is not all these knowledge in books and not all these practices, but there is a shift of awareness that has to take place. Like in the night, when the shift comes, you sleep. Even sometimes the shift will come when you haven't laid a bed.
Yeah.
Yes. When you are really sleepy, before you realize you are gone. You may even put a clock or some watch. You want to know the exact time you are sleeping.
But you go
You
before.
won't know.
Yeah.
You'll be watching, but before you go, when you are waking before, you say, by what time I slept?
Yeah.
So the shifting process is not something that the mind can trace.
Okay.
When it gets to a point, it just happens. And that is what is called awakening.
Okay.
See? So, when I looked at Christianity, I saw the same thing there as something that the followers of the Christ himself, he got into awakening.
Mm-hmm.
And he took over 18 years preparing the bed, doing all kind of things. And then when he was 30, then he did the final thing by fasting for 40 days, 40 nights. And the shift was total, complete shift.
Okay.
It's not half-half.
Mm-hmm. A complete awakening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when he went into that state, before coming into that state, he psyched himself that it's not like he's going into that state and forget about the world, but rather to turn around to help the world.
Okay.
Because he realized that that is what everyone is looking for.
One of the most difficult things to do in financial planning is saving and investing towards a big goal. Now, let me tell you my secret that I used to overcome this challenge. I started to do small top-ups consistently on Achieve by Petra to save and invest towards my bigger financial goal. For instance, when I decided to come and shoot Masterminds in South Africa, I decided to top up daily, weekly, anything that I could until I raised enough to afford my tickets, my hotel, everything to bring this podcast to you from South Africa. So if you're like me and you want to overcome this challenge of saving and investing towards a big goal, use Achieve by Petra. The link is in the description. So first he awakened.
Yes.
And then he sought to help the world
to awaken.
Okay.
So, it was after that he chose his disciples. So, the disciples, they were staying in his energy field. You see, when you awaken, you have an energy field that is very special.
Okay.
Because that energy field is radiating peace. It's radiating love. And it's radiating joy or bliss.
Okay.
But these things, they are not the worldly type. Because the worldly peace has opposites.
Okay.
So sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are not happy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you are peaceful, sometimes you are out of peace. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you feel love, sometimes hate.
Okay.
But when awakening takes place, then the peace is total.
Okay.
It has nothing can disrupt it. It has no opposite. In other words, it is fully expanded. So there's no room for opposite.
So whereas with most of the things in the world, we always assume a balance.
Exactly.
Light, dark.
Exactly.
Happiness, sadness.
Exactly.
When you awaken, the balance collapses into one.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
You understand. That is it. So, the awakening happened when I put aside the knowledge, the learning.
Okay.
Then I put aside the practices.
Okay.
And I went beyond it. Because I understood that the knowledge should lead to practice, and the practice should lead to awakening. And just like when you are in a boat, you pick the boat, you cross the river. After crossing, you leave the boat.
Yeah.
You don't carry it with you.
Yeah.
So the awakening, there's no practice inside it. You go beyond practices.
Okay.
Awakening, there is no knowledge aspect. No knowledge inside there. It is just peace, love, joy.
That makes sense. Because in the quest for knowledge, you are still searching.
Yes.
So once you awaken, you are supposed to be at peace.
Yes.
Which means your search should be over.
Good.
Understand.
You see, the wonder is this. The pure state, that is our origins, is pure awareness.
Okay.
You're just aware, purely. And there is no object to be aware of.
Okay.
It's just awareness. Then, this awareness, there is no activity, but it's a potential for activity.
Okay.
So, when we talk of activity, that is what we call mind.
Okay.
So, the spirit begins activity, and that activity is mind. And for that matter, mind, in a sense, mind is not other than spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It is like potential as pure spirit,
Okay.
and it's in activity as mind.
So let me relate this to science. So that would mean, for instance, your spirit is your potential energy.
Yeah,
The mind is your kinetic energy.
exactly.
And then the body becomes the mass.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
by being in spirit, you have the potential
That's right.
to act, which will then move the mass of the world.
That's right. Okay. That's right. I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it clearer. But the point itself is that when there is activity, you have shifted.
Okay.
You see, when there is no activity, you are back to your base. You see, origins. Now, to return, you don't require different forms of activities, but it's a withdrawal from activity.
Okay.
And this is very tricky. Activities may be prescribed for you to return. Knowledge will be pushed on you to return. But the true returning comes when all these are dropped, withdrawn.
Mm-hmm.
Then you come to the awakening state. And you can see the example even shifting into sleep.
Yeah.
When there is activity in your physical body, you're doing this, doing that, sleep wants to come, but maybe you are eager to complete something.
Mm-hmm. You can't fall asleep.
Yes.
Yeah. Your mind is racing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we see like, let's take the tailor, and they bring a lot of things, clothing for him to sew.
Yeah.
And let's say tomorrow he has some debt to clear. Mm-hmm. And when he completes it, he will get the money to go and clear.
Yeah.
So he can, throughout the night, he can be working.
His mind is even doing measurements
yes.
when he's lying down.
So the sleep wants to come, but he too is focusing to continue doing. So the doing prevents the sleep, the shift.
Okay.
You see? So
that means to shift, you need to be still.
Yes. And the secret is this, that even when we say stop activities, the word stop is also a verb.
Okay.
And a verb means activity.
Still an action, yes.
So it's very tricky. So when you say stop all activities, then the mystery is that the stopping is the activity that ends activities.
Okay.
You see?
So it's still a necessary activity.
It's a necessary activity.
Okay.
It's a final activity.
Okay.
So when it is said seek and you will find, it doesn't mean all your life you should be seeking.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to seek the end of seeking.
I love that. You have to seek the end of seeking.
Yes. So, you may be seeking, and everywhere, especially these days, you see, we go to the internet or YouTube and so
endless
many,
information.
and it becomes an addiction.
Yeah.
And we are seeking. And that doesn't take you there. It is pointers to the truth, but it's not the truth.
Okay.
The truth comes when you are done with all pointers. Because if you are looking for a place and along the route you meet pointers, then you are tracing. Then you get to a place and there is this huge signboard and it says, finally, you are
here.
But it's a pointer still. So you may jubilate and sit under the the signboard. And that is also another trap. The final trap, the signboard pointing, you sit under it that I have arrived.
But you haven't arrived. Interesting.
So, because the end, there's no pointer anymore. All along the route, pointers. But when you are there, no pointer anymore.
So how do you know when you are there?
Yes. There are the symptoms to indicate when you are there. In the very first place, the kind of things that we experience outside the awakening state, those things become dimmer and dimmer.
Okay.
Dimmer and dimmer. That means you are actually approaching the shift.
Okay.
Example, in the when we come to activity, the mind and thoughts, thinking, these are all activities. So when they are happening, they happen alongside with emotions. So you think of something and it gives you some emotion.
Mm-hmm.
You think of something, it may give you anger. It may give you pride. It may give you fear. It may give you anxiety. It may give you grief. So these things show that you are in the zone of activities.
Okay.
But it's not the original zone that is being. No activity.
Yeah, because emotion is still an activity. Like
Yes.
I heard somebody describe it as energy in motion.
Emotion.
So once you are constantly flooded with emotions, it means
Yes.
there's still activity.
Yes. So whenever you are getting closer to the being, the original state, then we will see that anger reduces, fear reduces, anxiety reduces,
Okay.
grief reduces. And that is what the Christ was referring to when he said, the fruit will show the tree.
Okay.
You see, what you are bearing should tell where you have reached.
Okay.
You see. So if you bear the fruit of peace, that kind of peace, profound, deep. If you bear the fruit of unconditional love, and then the bliss, then it means you have arrived home.
Okay.
Now, for people to understand this deeper, I'll give some analogies. Let's take the analogy of water. In fact, everywhere I turn, I see pointers to the truth. When you get awakened, everywhere you turn, you see pointers to the truth, pointers to the truth, pointers. Everything is pointing to the truth. But when you are mixed in the doing, you're confused. It's not showing you you don't notice that these things are pointing to the truth. Example, let's take water. Now, water can be in the form of vapor, then just liquid, then ice block. Now, something goes on. In the form of vapor, our senses cannot reach it, because now as vapor, it enters a state looking for it, now you can't see it. Now, even in this atmosphere, there is the humidity. We have water in form of vapor, which is so fine that you are not seeing it. So it goes beyond access to the five senses.
Okay.
Now, that is the same way being is beyond the mind and all these senses trying to, So if we count that state to be like among the things we are perceiving, looking for it, we have missed the point.
Okay.
Now, but the same thing when the temperature in it reduces, then it becomes liquid. But it's the same thing.
Yeah. So
when it becomes liquid, if you continue to reduce the temperature, then it becomes ice block. And it's the same thing. Yet, it's not the same.
So different states.
Yes. So
which would you compare to the state of awakening? Is it
the awakening is the vapor state. And it becomes inaccessible to the perceiving. You see. But when it is water, now we can perceive it, we can touch it.
So it's like awakening is sort of like transcending above to a state where you can perceive, but others may not perceive
exactly.
it as much. Okay.
Now, something interesting. When the water is lukewarm, then when the temperature is reducing, it becomes ice water. It's the same water, but it has certain new attributes. It's colder, and here warmer. Then, if we continue that pattern, then it becomes ice block.
Yes.
Now, notice something. The origins, we can say it is being. Being means it's not doing activity. Then, when we move into the next state, it is doing.
Okay.
It is the same being who is now doing. So the doing state appears to be different. Then it keeps on doing, and then finally it becomes, I am done.
Okay.
And that is the ice block.
Okay.
It stays put. I am done. You see? So, when we melt the ice block, it comes back to the doing state. That is the liquid state. And if we continue melting, continue adding heat, then it changes finally to that other state. Now, each person is in a certain state right now.
Okay.
So, if the person is in the state of ice block, then we can say, in a sense, it's a sleeping soul. It's not different internally, because if we analyze ice block, it is the same hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah, just like
when the two come
water
together, you get water. So if you analyze the ice block, it is H2O. Yet externally it looks different. Now, if you kick it into action and then it melts, that means you add heat, you heat it, then it melts. Then it comes to ice water. That is the next stage after ice block. It is progressing.
Yeah.
Then you heat that also, then it comes to lukewarm. Then you heat it and it's hot water.
Yeah.
Then you continue. There is
vapor.
a point we call
The boiling point.
boiling point. When it reaches the boiling point, then something begins happening. All along, it was tangible. But now, it is beginning to get out of the confines of form.
Okay. I like that example.
You see, it's getting away from the confines of form. And then it enters into another state. So that is what I call shifting into awakening. See, so it will have to happen to every soul
At a point in time.
at a point in time.
But does it? So do you believe that you said every soul,
Yeah.
not every person.
In that sense, we can say every person.
Okay, so do you believe in their life on earth, every person will reach a point of awakening?
Yes, but say, if we talk of ice block, if it keeps in the zone, like, let's say, the North Pole, it is going to keep long.
Yeah.
In ice block state.
Yeah.
Yes. And yet, something will happen within time to melt. And even at the moment, people are talking about climate change and so on. The earth will pass through stages, and at some point, some of this ice will be melting. And it will flood, it will move, and the oceans will swell.
Yeah.
You know.
And then eventually it will also find a way to evaporate.
Yes. So, if a person right now, we have to look at the person to say where you have reached. Sometimes it's not in ice block state, but it's just ice water. And if it is in ice water, then we encourage it to move to lukewarm. Then we encourage to continue moving to hot water. Then we encourage. So the teacher is only inspiring, encouraging, and so on, so that one moves on this evolution pattern. Because there's no way you can have fulfillment in the lower side.
Okay.
Because things have become done, and it's limited. You see, limiting. But as you go higher and higher in the scale of temperature, then limited is changing. Take the example of solid versus liquid, ice block versus liquid.
Yeah.
Now, the ice block, you can describe the shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's stuck in its form.
Yes, form. But the water, if you are asked to describe its shape, it is only the container that gives it shape.
Yeah.
But by itself, it doesn't have shape. See? So, when you are moving away from I am done state, then the doing activity comes in, and their forms dissolve.
Okay.
So the higher you go,
the less of form.
the less of form.
Okay.
See? And then the person begins to understand that anything he has attributed to himself in form, he's transcending it. So, I am this, I am that, I'm tall, I'm male, I'm female, I'm black, I'm white, and all these kind of things. It's this, I am done state, you can describe these things.
Yeah, you drop the identities.
Yes. And that is false identity.
Okay.
Because ultimately, if the ice block can say, I am water, then everything, cold water, lukewarm water, hot water, is a stage that the ice block can melt
into.
Yeah. So first, we may spread the knowledge to the ice block that don't continue calling yourself ice block. You are actually water.
Okay. Yeah.
And
you're more than ice block.
Yes, then it will say, no, but what you are telling me, but I'm
ice block. It's like trying to tell an ice block you have no phone. You say, but I'm a square.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see?
That makes
so
perfect
anyway.
sense. So that makes me want to ask this, right?
Yeah.
What is self? Because like you're saying, so many of us tie ourselves with identities. You know, if somebody asked me, who am I would say, oh, I am Richie Mensah. I'm a Ghanaian. I'm an Ashanti. You know, I'm a producer, podcast host. We tie ourselves with so many identities. But I feel sometimes we don't look deeper and ask that, who is inside? Like, who are we? How do you answer such a question?
Yes. Let me give this example. The example of a bird. The bird may be in the its nest.
Yeah.
And it's just there. Now, it takes a decision to come out and explore. You know. So, when it comes out, the first thing it realized to explore, then I have to, my potential, that is wings, must be stretched.
Yeah.
So, what is within me should be pushed out.
Okay.
You see, a seed pushes out what is inside it.
Yeah.
So the bird now realizes it has wings. All along it had wings, but it wasn't being used.
Okay.
It's just potential. So for the exploration's sake, it has to stretch the wings.
Okay.
And for the pure spirit, that is awareness, the wings are the past and future.
Okay.
So one side is past, one side is future. But it holds itself in the middle. And these things are extensions.
Okay.
So the now is in the middle.
Okay.
And when it flaps the wings, then it gets into motion. That is the activity. That is the mind. See? So the mind utilizes past and future as a zone to help it to explore.
Wow. So to be able to know yourself, you need to activate your past and your future, but you stay present in the now.
I will explain it more.
Okay.
Say, when you are actually moving away from who you are, you are going to be interested in other things. So that is what I call exploration.
Yeah.
So you flap the wings of past and future, and you are doing it. And you are seeing many, many things. When you want to return, then you come and you close past, you close future.
Okay.
You pull them in. No future, no past. Just me, just I. You see. And there's nothing to see. Because it was these two things which made me see so many things. And we call it dreaming.
Okay.
So all we are seeing is a kind of dream to the spirit.
Okay.
And they happen within time and space. And all those time and space, when they are withdrawn, they can be withdrawn. Because they are just your extensions of your own self. Mm-hmm. And you withdraw it.
I watched somebody say this, and as you're saying it, it makes sense to me more now, where they said the past and the future only exist in our mind.
Exactly.
Because you only access the past by remembering.
Exactly.
And you only access the future by imagining.
Yes.
So the only thing that really exists is now.
Yes. Yes. So it's a kind of imagination, and it's projected into time and space.
Okay.
So, and the time is future and past.
Okay.
And we use it to move along. Now, the point is this. When some bird is exploring, moving, it gets to a point, it's going too far from its nest.
Okay.
It's going too far from, let's say, the earth where it will perch and fuel itself. So it gets to a point, it says, no, but it's, first of all, it's spending so much energy and it needs some more energy. And it can only energize itself when it comes to the ground, maybe to perch on a tree and eat something. Mm-hmm. But if it is only flapping, at a point, it feels like it is dying. Mm-hmm. It is weak. And a return to perch, then he can be sober again and then look for something to eat. Now, there is this amazing thing. If the bird is flying through this zone, flapping, and at a point, it stops flapping, but it's just moving.
It will glide.
We call it flow state.
Okay.
So if the person can be in the flow state, it doesn't spend energy. It doesn't become weak anymore. And it is rather in a blissful feeling. And it can still be seeing the things it is looking for. It can be in this world exploring, but it is gliding peacefully. Mm-hmm. And it can return to perch on the tree where it came from. So when we are teaching people, they have to be coming to the point where flapping into future, flapping into past, you leave it. Let them be there, but don't enter into past, don't enter into future.
Just flow.
Yeah, then it is just now. And you can still be awake and be seeing all the things going on. Yes. And that is what the Christ was referring to when he said, you'll be here, but you are not of this place.
Okay.
Once you flap, you are of this place. And we help people to come to that state first. And then they can live in this zone for so long without getting tired.
Mm-hmm. True, because even with your bird example,
yes,
when birds are flapping, it takes a lot of
energy from them.
Yes, but once they just stretch their wings and they flow, then they can actually move along without spending too much.
They don't lose energy.
Yes.
And they can be in that state for quite a long time in the zone without any tension, without any fear or anything. It's just relaxed. Yet it's part of the activities going on, yet it is not in activity. So the realized soul will say to be in activity which is inactivity, or to be in inactivity within activity.
Okay. So that is when you can be peaceful
Yes.
in the midst of chaos.
Yes. So no matter what is going on.
Sitting there with a storm all around him.
Yes.
But he's peaceful inside.
Yes. In fact, I liken it onto somebody who has learned how to swim.
Okay.
And the others who don't know how to swim, you carry them all into the ocean and throw them into it.
Yeah.
The others who don't know how to swim, hey.
They're flapping.
Yeah.
That's like me when I tried to swim.
Anxiety. But it's not that the waves will stop for the one who knows how to swim. No. But it's only that because he knows how to swim, he's even enjoying it. You see, it's amazing.
You know, it's making a lot of sense. And your examples are spot on, because now I'm thinking about a bird who is just learning how to fly. That bird will spend a lot of energy flapping.
Yes.
And it's filled with a lot of fear.
Yes.
Because it doesn't know the potential of its wings.
Yes.
So it's flapping, trying to stay up. But once a bird masters flight, then it knows to just spread the wings.
Yes.
And it's the same way with swimming, like you're saying.
Exactly.
Like an amateur swimmer like me, when I get in the water, I flap my hands everywhere. But then you see the master just floating and moving with the current.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, when we come to the practicality of life, where people position something, they see something in the zone of past, future, and they are exploring, and it's like, that thing is so wonderful, I have to by all means get to it. So that thing is luring you. For example, money.
Yeah.
And one will be making all the effort to reach
Flapping
it.
towards the money.
You see? But the point is, one doesn't know that he wouldn't have to struggle and he can still get the money. Just when he's in the flow state, he moves towards it. And he gets it the same. So the flow state is when it says, seek ye first the kingdom. And in that state, all the other things are yours.
Yeah.
So don't think that getting into that state, you have lost the thing because you are not flapping towards it.
Yeah. But I think for most people, they feel it's the effort.
Yeah,
It's the
that
constant
takes you
effort
there.
that takes you there. Alan Watts calls it the backwards law, where he says, the more you are actively pursuing something, the further it is getting away
from you.
But when you relax and know that that will come to you, then it's like it's drawn towards you.
The point is this. The nearer you get to the original state, the more empowered you are. The more you get to that state, just imagine the vapor, the heat has reached such a high degree that it takes it beyond even the zone.
Yeah.
Going. So, when you get to that state, you are empowered. And the ice block, when you come in contact with it, it will melt. You see, it will melt. See? So, the same way, when you come in contact with most of the worldly things, the attributes they are carrying, leave them.
Okay.
So your energy field will affect whatever enters. Your energy field is peace. So whatever enters is affected by that. Even though it's coming with something other than peace. But when it enters, it will be slowed down.
So this means the person who is looking for money, wealth, success, a great relationship, love and admiration from his people, should actually just seek peace.
Yes.
And
Yes.
once you find peace and you are not seeking these things, they will find you.
They come to you. The reason is this. When you come to that state, you are highly magnetic.
Okay.
Your energy field is magnetic. And the role you are here to play, whatever is required to fulfill the role, your magnetism will draw it to you. So notice the word need. Whatever is needed to play the role will be drawn to you.
Okay.
It will come by itself. Something that doesn't come means you don't need it for the role.
Okay.
So it's not like you don't even have desires because the thing is coming to fulfill its magnetic attraction. It's pulling, selective.
Yeah.
So it selects the things you require to fulfill.
And it's true because I think, we live in a very modernized world.
Yeah.
Where we have convinced ourselves that we need so many things.
Yeah.
When in actual fact, we may not even need it. I was telling a friend of mine that I love the water. So one of my thoughts and my retirement plans is I'll buy an island, get a nice house on the island so that I can be by the water and be on a boat and just enjoy nature, right? And then one day I went to Akosombo. So I think about myself, I'm working hard to attain that. Then one day I went to Akosombo. Then I saw this small boy who barely has any money, who lived by the water, was enjoying on a boat. And I was thinking, why am I working so hard to attain something that somebody is getting just by being still? Like, we've convinced ourselves that there are so many things we need in this world, when maybe if we just kept calm and still, the things we need would actually find us.
Yes. You see, the challenge is that we don't draw the line between need and want.
Yes.
We want many things. And the trick in our minds is that we push the thing that we want into our front and say, this is a need. So it is your mind that is telling you it's a need.
Yeah.
You see. And in truth, is it a need? So what you need, the real one thing you need is to actually get into your spiritual state. That is the only single need.
Okay.
So if you come into your spiritual state, then any other thing needed for your role to play, the state you have come in pulls it towards you. It brings it towards you. So struggle ends.
Okay.
The zone you have come to, there's inactivity zone. It's neutralized. So there, you are not going to project thoughts too much. Thinking means doing.
Okay.
You see, mind initiates the activity, but still it is much more potential. It's just beginning from spirit. So the mind is there. But when it intensifies the activity, then we call it thoughts.
Okay. So
it pushes activity. So thoughts is nothing but activity of the mind. So and mind is nothing but potential activity of the spirit.
Okay.
Spirit itself, no activity.
Okay.
But when it comes to mind, then it's like now potential for activity. And then when there's thought, then activity.
Okay.
And when the thought goes on and on and on and on, the thought is heading towards the things which are I am done things. So we slow down into, our thoughts move and slow down into the I am done state. That is why we say thought is creative.
Okay.
So whatever you are thinking, it is heading towards becoming ice block.
That's why you can get so tired and stuck sometimes.
Yes.
Because instead of relying on the spirit, you are relying only on the mind.
On the mind.
Okay.
If a person, let's say, goes to sleep in the night and there's so much mental activity, like even dreaming, and there's nightmare, and the mind is racing. By morning time, he's tired.
He's still tired. Yes. It's like you didn't even sleep.
Yes. You see. So mind is also energy in motion. You see. Okay. So energy is, you spend a lot of energy.
Okay.
We know people in the night when they have sleepless night because they are thinking, worrying, and so on. By morning time, their weight has gone down. Yes, their weight has gone down. Before sleeping, if we check their weight, and after sleeping in the morning, you check their weight, it has come down.
They were running a marathon in their mind.
Yes, yes. So, mind, thoughts, their activities. Yes, my beloved brother, what it is that we as individuals is illusion.
Okay.
It's a dreaming state. So it is only one presence. So when I back into that one presence, there I can feel you.
Explain that well for me. So are you saying that we are all one connected consciousness?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. That one presence, in its experience from the core, there's no other.
Okay.
And sometimes some of the scripture will say, I am the only one, no other. It's in the scripture.
Yeah.
You see, so in actual fact, it's just one presence. But then activity is just a mode of the self, but it can only take place within itself because there is no other.
Okay.
So all that is happening is within itself.
So if I would borrow the scripture, when God is described as I am, that means God is existence.
Yeah.
So we exist within God.
That's right.
So there is no other outside of God. So everything is the one consciousness.
Yes. And the truth of the matter is when let me look. I have these fingers and they are part of me. If I'm talking of the physical side. So if the awareness I have is so powerful, then every aspect of me can experience the same awareness to some degree. So
and they would each
my finger experiences awareness of itself to some degree.
Yeah.
Even though it is not true that it is separate. So if the finger, like sometimes I use this example that you have a mark. You can see the mark there. So when you look at the palm, then where the mark is showing a finger from there. So that mark is false identity. It's making this one appear like separate.
I like that.
So if you are to remove that mark, it is joint. It is just one presence, one palm. You see, but the mark is giving it a feeling that it is different from the inside of the palm. You see, so that there is an inner thing when the shift from spirit awareness to mind.
Okay.
And that central shifting point, we call it illusion.
Okay.
Yes, because spirit is all that there is. So to say something is something else and we give it a name, mind, it means he's not the only one.
Yeah.
Because now there is mind.
Means there are multiple minds.
Yeah. Which is wrong. It's not true.
Okay.
So it's a make-believe.
Does that mean everything is our illusion?
Everything is God. Everything is the same. The only thing is, look at a creature that has a tail. Now, if it is sitting there and it turns its tail and it has closed its eyes and the tail touches his body, it may just do something like this. But then it realizes its own self. You see? So all along, he was just in a certain state thinking something is externally touching him.
Yeah.
But it's just himself. It's just his own tail.
Interesting.
Touching him. You see? So
then that means, let's talk about most structured religions.
Yes.
Which mostly practice where God, the one consciousness, is an external being that we need to go to externally. Does that mean that if everything is God, if everything is one consciousness, to find God or to find our consciousness, we need to go within?
Great. There is something about this topic. If you withdraw to the inside, you are actually getting to your core truth, who you really are. But what externally you are withdrawing from is an aspect of yourself.
Okay.
So it's not like it is something else that you are withdrawing from to yourself.
Okay. It's all the same.
It is all the same. But it is only for the beginner that sometimes we say you are too much into this aspect of the self where it makes you feel separate. So withdraw to the inside.
Okay.
But when you withdraw to the inside, in the long run, you see that the thing you were withdrawing from is also yourself.
Yeah.
So in deeper aspects, the withdrawal wouldn't have been even necessary. Because it's all you.
You are withdrawing from yourself to yourself.
To yourself. You see. So whatever you are doing to anything or anyone is just to yourself. So within time, it gets proofed. Within space, it is proofed. So what we call laws are things to prove who we are.
Okay. Can you give me some of those laws?
Yes. When we say, what you sow, you reap. So any activity you do, the direction it goes is to somebody or to something. But within time, it is just illusion. Within time, it has to, the law will bring it to show that you did it to yourself.
Yes. It's like they say,
yes.
Because you're actually playing with yourself.
You see, but because of time and space, which is illusion, you may not notice that the thing you did, the law is turning the things to let you realize that you did it to yourself.
Yeah.
So anyone who is awakening gets it faster, so that whatever you are doing to anyone, within a short time, it comes back to you. If it happens in a short time, you may be a little aware that, hey, the thing I did, that is what is happening to me. But when there is time and space, you may not think. You forget.
You'll be complaining.
Exactly.
This person did this to me, but 4 years ago, that was the same thing you were doing. So that means you need to love your neighbor as yourself, because your neighbor is yourself.
It's yourself. It's yourself. Externally, your mind will not tell you it's yourself. Why? Because it has stretched that person because of space and time.
Yes.
Stretch. So you are different from that. So how come he's myself? You see. But imagine we clear off space and time. That is where you realize, so all along it's myself.
It was me.
Yes.
It was me all along.
Yes.
So it's like the example you gave with the fingers or the part of the body. So it's like my thumb on the left hand coming to hit the thumb on the right hand. Because as far as it's concerned, it is different.
Yeah.
Not understanding that they are all part of the same being.
Exactly. If I take this water, right hand,
yes,
I give it to this. Have I given it to somebody?
You've given it to yourself.
Yes, myself.
So even when we think we are in service of others, we are actually in service
of ourselves. But time and space will not show it immediately to you.
Okay.
Within time, it shows. Now, space and time. Now, the self is perfect. When it's in the being state, it is perfect because there is no shortcoming. When it moves into mind and then thoughts and then forms, all this, then there is polarity. It spreads out. It uses the polarity to weave the drama.
Okay.
You see, so day and night, male, female, happy, sad, all those things are weaving. So we get a drama. But the point is this. When you are in the drama itself, anything you look at, what makes it perfect has been pushed into space and time somewhere. Somewhere and at a different time. So because of that, it's a part of the perfection. So part of the perfection is not perfect.
Yeah.
But if somebody can have the vision of the whole,
everything,
then he sees that thing and that thing, they neutralize themselves and this is perfect.
Okay.
See, but within space and time, separated, you can't realize the perfection in these things.
Interesting.
You see, so if we come to the spiritual state, we become expanded.
Okay.
See, so you expand, so that the things and their opposites, they are not distant. You see them close, and then you see perfection. Once you are closing the gap, you see the perfection.
Yeah.
But when you narrow down, then they are wider. You see, it's relative. If you become small, then even this space can become
very big to you.
Maybe 10 miles, 10 kilometers.
Yeah.
Like the ant may have 8 kilometers from here to there. Is it
true?
Yes. That is 8 kilometers. You see, but if it should be expanded, huge being, then that is like nothing.
So how do we expand? Or let me even go back. How do we attain peace inside?
Yes. To attain the peace inside, I started by telling you that when there's activity, then you cannot be peaceful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever peace you experience it is functioning with an opposite somewhere. Mm-hmm. So unless you clear them out, you can't have the peace. So if there is a balance, then everything comes down. They neutralize.
And how do you get that?
Yes, I'm coming to that.
Okay.
So, in order to come to that, there is a secret.
Okay.
Very simple. When we are in the womb of mom, we are coming to begin activity. And already the initial activity is bearing on our spirit. Mm-hmm. We are pure spirit. And we have the being feeling, just being. But we come into the womb, then it's a slight shift. And we are picking a certain aspect of mind energy. Mm-hmm. And then form is coming inside it because activities will be going on, making forms to come out as I'm done. So the body is being built. It means I'm done. Things are moving and settling down. And it is mental energy which is moving and is settling. And it's a blueprint. The blueprint is in the mental energy. It is coming to form a kind of ice block in a certain way. And it forms the baby. Now, even at that state, it is still not too much in the world yet. So a certain aspect of the peace is still there with the baby. When he shifts, how will you know if the baby is close to that state? The baby in that state, in the womb, no anxiety, no fear, no anger, no polarity. It doesn't even know it is male. It doesn't even know it is female.
True.
So it is not yet into this zone. Now, when it is born, then it has to be introduced to the zone of activity that is mind. Mm-hmm. And how does it happen? The secret is the breath.
The breath.
The breath.
Okay.
So it has to cry to kick out the air in the lungs.
Okay.
To initiate the breathing. Mm-hmm. If the baby doesn't cry, the people are not happy. They say, oh, he's not joining us.
Yeah. Interesting. So is it the same for us adults too?
Yeah. So the breath introduces us into this zone of cooling the water until it becomes ice block.
Yeah.
So the thought energy. And once the breath is initiated, as time goes on, is breathing in, out, in, out. And then the thought energy begins to now be clearer and clearer, and it begins to think.
Okay.
Begins to think. And then is seeing things. What is it? Where am I? Mm-hmm. You see, it has been now introduced to the zone of activities.
Okay.
And then all the other things follow. So if you want to return to that state, peace, where everything is neutral in the sense that there's no polarities affecting you, then you can retrace your steps through the breath. just like you are entering the womb again.
Okay.
See? So you have to learn how to have a natural breath. See? When mind activity comes in, the breath that we started with is even jolted out of rhythm.
Okay.
For example, when you become angry, your breath,
breathing changes. Yes.
when you become afraid, hey, then the breath, So this we return and get into the womb again. Of course, not physical womb.
But in the same state.
That same state. And when you come to that state, you say you are born again.
Okay.
This is another birth. You see. So you were born into and you get born out of.
Okay.
You see. So when you come to that state, then you function like what I was saying, that you are flow state. Flow state. You are here, but you are not in the...
So something like that. Does meditation help?
The word meditation is abused.
Okay. So what would you call meditation?
Yeah, I will call it meditation, but I have to give the definition properly.
Okay.
I already told you that before, your spirit was not doing anything. It's just being peaceful, loving, and joyful. Now, if you have come into the doing and you want to return, then you have to stop doing. But stopping doing, the trick is that the stopping itself is also a doing.
Yeah.
Because it's a verb.
Still a process.
A process. If you are walking and somebody tells you stop,
it still takes energy.
That means do something. But that something means end all movement. So it's a movement to end movement. It's an activity to end movement. That is stop. So meditation, the true meditation is when you have already stopped.
Okay.
That is, you have entered meditation.
Okay.
And that means you've entered your original state. But you are right in this zone, but you have stopped activity.
Okay.
And that is meditation.
Okay.
Yes. To do that becomes easier when you are able to let the breath become silent, like the time the baby was in the womb. In the womb, he was not breathing.
Was not controlling the breath.
Yes. And it's so silent. And in fact, some of the things were happening through even the skin. You see, it's absorbing things all over. But the breath, like active, no, it wasn't there. So if you return to that state, then you are getting nearer to your source. And that is why, once again, the Christ will say, let the children come to me, for the kingdom belongs to them. What it means is that they are close to that state than the grown-ups.
Yeah.
Grown-ups have deviated from that state.
We are like the bird who has flown too far from the nest.
Flapping.
Yeah.
So, but the child is a beginner. He hasn't yet entered into the flapping. You even mention it when the bird is now developing wings.
Yeah.
It hasn't developed it, so it is still, the wings are closed by itself.
Yeah.
So the same with the baby. See, future, past, it doesn't know about it.
So maybe we should all be more childlike. Because, sometimes the more you grow, when you are a child, you can't wait to grow.
Yeah.
The more you grow and have more responsibilities and do more, you miss being a child.
Yes.
And just being calm and centered and living,
My beloved brother, everyone is looking for it again.
Yes.
But the thing is, you are looking for the right thing in the wrong place.
You're looking for it in the
externally.
past. Yes.
Externally in this way. And you think by flapping more, you get to it. And that is the problem. So the word stop flapping, hold your wings, hold it there, and be in the flow state. And the teacher will be teaching these things. The Christ was saying, be ye perfect, even as the Father is. That means the polarity, just hold balance. And then you are one with the Father immediately.
Okay.
It's not like God in a distance. It's just within you. You are just that. But you are just turning into this, projecting your inside out and looking at your own inside, and you are confused. You see? All is happening from within yourself. And you project it out, and you look at it, and you are confused.
So the aim is to learn how to be still and become one with God again.
Yes.
So does this mean people should stop looking for an external heaven and hell that they are going to go to one day?
The truth of the matter is that when you are awakening, then you are even beyond the principle of hell and heaven.
Okay.
Because hell and heaven are polarities. Question and answer, they are polarities. Problem and solution, they are polarities. Anything which is within polarity will be withdrawn.
Okay.
When you come to realization, you are functioning beyond polarities. So heaven, hell is not a topic. And these things are even hinted in scriptures, but people don't.
Yeah.
They don't take it serious.
We are selective with what we even read in scripture.
Yes. It says both heaven and earth will pass away. We hear it, and yet we want to go to heaven.
Do you think Africans have lost our spirituality?
It's part of the polarity. I already told you, when you have one aspect of the polarity and the other aspect is stretched in time and space, then you see imperfection. But if you can develop a vision to include everything, then you are okay. So the Africans, there were a period in the past, the one polarity is to go up, and the opposite of that polarity is to come down. So in this zone, you can go up, you can come down. In the water example, you can raise the temperature, you can lower the temperature. So polarity zone, you can go through things that will elevate you. But there is a secret. If you don't want to fall, you don't want to go to the other opposite, that is where self-awareness should be raised. Because that is where things are held in balance.
Okay.
So that you will not be, the pendulum will not more swing you here. You see, you are here, it will swing you there. But if you hold yourself in balance, then the swing is held in check. It cannot take you here. But people don't seek the balance point. So because of that, naturally, they will be swung to the other side.
Yeah.
But there too, they will not remain there.
It will swing back in the other direction.
So for the Africans, there were periods they were really elevated in knowledge. They had their mystery schools, and they could do a whole lot of things, and they could link up with the internal realms. we have external realm, internal realm. These are all part of polarity.
Yeah.
So they got so much knowledge about the internal realm, and they connected, and they were able to do so many things. But the polarity, it doesn't give you only one aspect all along. It will shift.
So swing back.
Yes. They didn't know how to hold the balance.
Okay.
And it's not only the blacks, the Africans, but everywhere it is happening the same. When the pendulum is swinging, they try to prevent it from swinging, and they don't know the keys. The key is not external forcing to keep it. No. It's an internal balance.
Okay.
So if people could keep the internal balance, if more and more people in a particular situation keep the balance, their energy field will radiate peace, love, joy, and because of that, everything will flourish for them.
Okay.
You see. So, but lo and behold, throughout the world, people, they miss that little knowledge, that little point. You see. So instead of now seeking to go high, the African seeking to go high, nature is doing it for you already because you have gone this side. Nature will do it. You see. And it's not even anxiety about it that will do it.
Just flow with it.
Nature will do it. It will raise you. But if the raising should be based on that balanced state, then it is not going to attract a return.
Okay.
You see. Then you can be almost like permanently inside your peace.
Okay.
But hardly do people listen to that, you see. And it is advice, you see. It's advice that we don't have to battle to rise, you see. But within ourselves, if we can increase the number of people who are attaining balance, then they will affect the land. Whatever you touch, you affect it. Whatever you express, it moves through the atmosphere to calm it. You see, everything begins to change.
Okay.
And that is much, it is the required thing.
Like how you said, once you awaken, you have a field around you.
Yes.
So you start to affect everyone and everything around you. So if we can get more people to awaken, then we will all affect each other.
Yes. I used to tell this. If a person is realized and there is a tree which is not bearing fruit, and every day he goes to sit under that tree, the next season you see it blooming.
Nice.
Because the energy field is affecting everything.
Okay.
So if the land is not producing and people can come to the balanced state more and more, it will produce. Whatever we need will come. You see. And we don't need things like chemicals to put in the soil and all that.
We can be the energy.
Once we come to that state, everything will adjust itself for us. So that it is when we deviate from the natural things, then we are not taking the natural things. Then nature lets the animals and these little creatures to eat it. And then we turn around to say they are disturbing us. We have to kill them. But we are not taking it.
Yeah.
You see, we shifted from it. That is why they also came in.
Interesting.
You see. So if we come back to the natural state, then you see that our crops will grow. No need for chemicals.
Yeah. No need for engineering
No.
plans and everything.
Everything will be natural. You see.
I need you to do something for me. So normally I would say that I want you to say something to the person watching to make them a mastermind. Yeah. But with you, I want you to look in your camera there and reach out to the person who's watching right now.
Right.
And what idea, what states can you help put them in so that they can master their spirit, so that their spirit can master their mind?
Yes. When one attains the peace, then it is not only your breath that will become silent, but your brain waves will also settle down to a balanced brain wave. And then your eyelids, they move alongside with your breath and your thoughts. So when you are thinking too much and your breath is out of rhythm, your eyes will also be moving like this. So if I'm looking at you and I'm not moving the eyes, and you look into my eyes, then the peaceful energy is entering your eyes and it's calming you. This is what is called darshan. In the ancient time, they call it darshan.
Okay.
Just coming into the energy field of one who has the realization.
Okay.
He's not different from you. It's only a matter of you shifting into the doing mode. And he shifts into the being mode. So he's more of, in percentage, the dominant energy in him is peace.
Okay.
It's the being. And just a small portion to do things. But the remaining, all is just peace. So it is there with you. It's just a shift that you need. And once you attain it, all other things are attained. You say, whatever. If you are in that state, money is attained.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in that state, health is attained. You don't chase health. See, because the being doesn't see limitation. When you shift from it to the mode of the mind and the thinking and the doing, then limitations. Because of separation into time, distance, and all that, everything goes along with limitations. So, my beloved brother, beloved sister, just keep the peace with you. Yes. A little exercise you can do every day, every morning. When you get up, don't rush to pick yesterday's topics because they are wings, past, future.
Yeah.
Don't start thinking about what to do, what is ahead, what remains to be done. No. Don't pick that first. Just center yourself. Just first you can breathe in long, deep, and relax and pull it in, and then finally calm it. It's like no breath. And when you do, you come to that state, remain, don't move the body. If you don't move at all for about 10 to 15 minutes, even the hormones and the things going on in your life, they will balance out. And your health will get better. Do it daily. If you can do morning, evening, prevention is better than cure. And if you do that and these things are settling down, even if you are already ill, it will all be nullified. You say, yes, it's practical truth. Truth is simple. Getting close to truth, there is simplicity.
Okay.
But going away from it, complexity.
It's complex, yes.
Yes.
So the more complex your state, the further you are from the truth.
Yes. And the psychology is that when things get complex, they think the solutions should be complex. So they go around the world looking for it, and they are flapping. They look into the past, they look into the future, and it's like, hey, and it's all struggle unnecessary.
It's all just stretching the wings,
just balance out
and flowing.
Yes.
Honestly speaking, you are so insightful, and I do believe that you are at peace, because even being in your presence feels calming. I mean, I think today I've spoken the calmness that I ever have on this podcast, because I feel very calm right now as I'm talking to you. I want to thank you so much. I am sad that we are ending the conversation, because I feel there's so much more we can talk about. Hopefully we'll pick up this conversation later, because I feel so many people out there need that calmness of spirits. So many people are looking for a way to be calm inside. So many people are searching for something and they don't even know what they are searching for. So with someone like you to guide the young people who are coming up, maybe we can create a world where instead of seeking, people start to be in a state of being. So I want to thank you again so much. And to you watching me, I hope this episode has brought you a step closer to being a master of your spirit, which will make you a master of your mind. Thank you for watching this episode. Now, the Masterminds dream is about building a community of people who have the right mindset and are ready to take their success into their own hands. So do me this wonderful favor. Subscribe and share with anybody out there who you believe you want to see have the right mindset to succeed, so that together we can all become the masterminds we deserve to be.